That was a well-timed ping that I heard there. Hello.
Exactly, yeah, best timing.
Perfect. Welcome. It's another Tuesday evening, and we're back here on Horde of Tales for another session of the Convergence Manifesto. Today, we are in full force. All of our players are here. Austin, welcome back. Good to have you back. And we're going to see what today's session will hold. Before we dive right in, how's everybody feeling tonight? How are you, my dear players?
Wonderful.
Very tired.
Tired?
Yeah.
My house smells like cookies, so I hope that brings some interesting positive emotions. It'd be weird to like play angry while everything smells sweet and like cookies.
A little bit tired as well. I'm sorry it's late.
Yeah,
I'm
I have
okay.
the time difference advantage. It's only like 2 in the afternoon for me, so I haven't reached the end of the day tired yet.
See, that's the problem though. I have been feeling tired the whole day. Like I have been tired for the past year and a half. I don't think it's going to change much. But you know.
But excited nonetheless to be here, I hope.
Yes.
Yes, let's see if we can get a little bit of adrenaline in there. Maybe that helps against the tired feeling. And who knows, because we ended last session on a bit of a cliffhanger. Who knows what we're going to start with today?
I'm nervous about it. It's fine. We're okay.
You can't be tired when there's emotional trauma.
That's a little bit of wisdom there. Alrighty.
Surprised.
Well, so for us to find out what's going to happen today, we're going to continue Convergence Manifesto. We're here today on Horde of Tales, playing the third session of Fired and Forgotten, the first adventure in the Convergence Manifesto adventure series, created by Across Eberron. If you like the adventure and want to try it yourself, check out acrosseberron.com, where you can find more information about the adventure. The music that you're going to be hearing on stream is made by Dark Fantasy Studios. Our overlay has been made by Caro herself, who is also playing with us. And in case we're going to be on any kind of battle maps or something, those were created in Dungeon Draft. So if you like what you see, check that out as well. Not sponsored, just friendly, free advertisement for an awesome toolset.
Dungeon Draft are open to sponsorships.
and certainly not foreshadowing anything.
Certainly not foreshadowing anything. Now, please
What
come
maps?
along to this
What
new battle map.
What? Encounters?
Battle what?
What?
All
Do you
right.
deal with
I'm just a
battles?
fighter. I don't battle? What?
So that I have a chance to prepare the battle, prepare the session last minute, I'm going to put us on our little intro over for a moment, and then we're going to dive right into the session. We'll be back in a few sec. Are back. Woo! Look, we are back, and we have still everyone here. And there's not a battle map inside, so I don't know what people have been worried about.
I hope there's a cat inside today.
Which is true, which is a friendly reminder before we get into the session. If you have the channel points and you spot on my screen a beautiful orange, slightly overweight cat, or any part of it, you can use your channel points to give anyone, players, DM, whoever you like, our so-called cat vantage. Cat vantage means that if you spend the points and you tell us who's get the cat vantage, they're gonna have advantage on their next roll. Use it wisely and keep an eye out for the cat.
Not me leaving the Twitch stream open so I can get my own channel points.
With that being said, last time on the Convergence Manifesto.
Oh, we're just going for it.
We're going for it.
Let's go for it now.
Oh.
We'll go for it. We found our protagonists gathering some information and some planning in the Troll's Nose Tavern, where they got some intel from a friendly hobgoblin tavern keep, got a bit of a view of kind of like a wrestling match or something that was going on in the tavern, and found out that Hollis Drummond is also in deep with a criminal organization known as the Dusk. Armed with this knowledge, our heroes went into the basement of the tavern, discussed their plans together with Stoke and Tresca, and decided that they were just going to try to put ownership of the forge into the hands of someone else, potentially Tresca herself. In order to do that, they would file the necessary paperwork with House Cannith, the great house that is managing the industry here. Leaving behind the tavern, crossing the dark streets of the Cogs, you had a small encounter with the rivals from the Deathgate Guild, the fellow adventurers guild that you bested during your initiation rite. Well, the encounter was short. There was a little bit of intimidation. There was a gun involved and some strong words, and your rivals decided that this was not worth the trouble, but they did share with you that they got paid by a certain Noel who overheard your conversation, and that maybe that criminal organization known as the Dusk have an eye on you. Well, it takes more than a little bit of intimidation to stop all of you, and following Tresca, you made your way to the Cannith Enclave, a massive forge cathedral building, where you met with Ulrich, a friend of Tresca, who started to take on your file for the ownership change of Drummond Independent. And as luck would have it, Lord Merrix de Cannith, a higher noble and, according to Ulrich, kind of his boss, happened to be on around for inspections and just wanted to look how the daily workflow goes for his employees, and decided to join in the little meeting. And the sight of this red-haired noble seemed to bring some memories back up in Rebus that they didn't even know they still had. And after a few strange, grainy visions, Merrix de Cannith was still looking at the Warforged, and that's where we ended the last session. And that's also where we're going to pick up this session with, as a reminder to all of you, you're in a little meeting room. There's a nice little table in which you're seated all around. A clerk, no, not a cleric, a clerk, sits on one end, has a thick paper folder, which is filled with bills and documents, all of them related to Drummond Independent. Next to you, next to the four of you, there's also Tresca with you, the friendly gnome that you met in Drummond's Forge. And also now seated at the table and currently looking at Rebus is Merrix de Cannith, the apparently especially noble-looking figure, and with fiery red hair and a fiery red beard, a super friendly, flashing smile, but at this point, also looking a little bit surprised at the Warforged in your party. What would you like to do?
Do we notice that there is like a strange staring between Rebus and Lord Merrix?
You would notice, especially because Lord Merrix came into the room, like flashing his smile, being very friendly and warm, and the moment he looks at Rebus, you would see that his expression changes. I would say, and please correct me if this is incorrect, Rebus, considering that you don't really have an expression, it's kind of harder to read, but would there be anything about you that shows any kind of surprise? So, yeah.
So I'm sorry, I'll have to use my normal voice in this session.
No worries. No worries.
Yeah, so I have my posture is elegant yet not very like uptight, like I spoke about in other occasions. It's not very, soldiery. It's more just relaxed. And so in this moment, you can see Rebus's faceplate kind of glitch for a moment, which it does from time to time. My eyes sometimes glitch a little bit or not exactly in the same point, or if I look to one side or another, sometimes it kind of mimics blinking. You're used to this, but for a moment it looks like I've lost my balance a little bit, and I take a hand towards my head, and immediately recompose myself. But you can see my faceplate glitching a bit longer than normal, kind of doing little weird white lines across it, and then it just goes back to the usual. And I will put my hand down, because I assume all of these strange flashback memories happen really very quickly.
Yeah.
Even though they were full of detail, just kind of how memories go. So I'll just catch myself, kind of, if I had almost had to, I don't know, sneeze for a moment or something like that. And I almost do the intention of like leaning towards Lord Merrix to talk to him, but then think better of it and just like go against the wall where I was and observe.
Right.
As I assume that things are going on.
I watched this for a second, noticed this behavior, basically just turned to him. You okay? Is there anything up? Do we need to bring you to Artificer or anywhere?
Oh, it's all right. It happened. I'm not at my best, as you can see. It happens from time to time. Nothing to worry about.
Just say it before you probably fall apart or down or anywhere, because
nothing of the sort. But thank you
Okay,
for
okay.
worrying. I appreciate the
Be
care.
at our best composure, especially in front of someone as gallant as the Lord here. Lord Merrix, was it? Perhaps after this boring bureaucracy humdrum, perhaps our dear friend might make use of your, well, a person like you surely has resources and great mechanics and great knowledge and machines, warforges, this sort of thing. Rebus, this might be a great benefit to you.
Lord Merrix has his eyes darting around the table and composes himself again, has this really flashing and dashing friendly smile. You know how some people just smile and they make you feel a bit warmer when they smile? He has this kind of super friendly smile and face with it, and it seems honest in how he presents himself. He says, I did not mean to interrupt any business that was going on here. I am merely on my semi-regular rounds through the enclave, keeping an eye on business, and I know that Ulrich over here is a very talented accountant and competent in the laws around ownership disputes. So I assume that he has been called in for a matter that is related to a ownership dispute. Is it not, Ulrich? And you see Ulrich, who is still blushing at the fact that his superior is sitting in on this meeting. He flips through the folder and he goes, yeah, quite so, yes. This is, it is the Drummond case. Drummond Independent. If my last count is still up to date, there are 27 late bills and 45 reminders, several complaints about...
Are we going to go through all the details and what a poor management, that awful person, is costing us time and effort?
You see,
simply go to our very competent and talented individual, and I point over at Tresca or gesture towards her. I was like,
Tresca, she now also blushes a bit at being put in the spotlight, and she goes, "Well, Ulrich, I'm very aware of the problems that Drummond is facing, and I think there's no registration yet of the employee strike at his forge." And Ulrich looks at her. "No, there is not. Most of his employees were forged, is that not correct?" Yes, and they have been on strike due to late or non-existent payments. And you see Ulrich look at it. "Oh, well, that might just be the nail in his mercantile coffin then." And at this point, I'd like all of you to make a perception check, please.
total 10.
10.
2.
2.
I noticed
Nine.
nothing.
19.
19.
12.
12. So as you see Ulrich talking about or mention like the nail in his mercantile coffin after he hears about that strike, Dythun and Rebus, you would notice that Lord Merrix is shifting in his seat and is changing his posture. He's sitting a little bit more straight, as if he's starting to pay a bit more attention at this point.
Ooh,
I will
can I
make
be the
it
one to
known.
share?
Dythun is, like, since Lord Merrix walked in, that's who he's watching.
All right. Yeah, absolutely. You're like,
Yeah.
are you, would you say that you're seated at the table, or would you like maybe like even stand against the wall to keep a better eye on everyone?
Dythun would have sat at the table,
Right. Gotcha.
but like kind of at an angle so he can like watch
Right.
the room.
Keeping an eye on the noble that is sitting there at the
Mhm.
table. Yeah, then you would absolutely notice also that he's shifting his posture and is putting it a little bit more straight, and he seems to be paying just a bit more attention to this case. Rain, you wanted to say something?
When Aldrich says this is the proverbial nail in his business coffers, Rain just kind of like leans over the table. Can I be the one to inform him? Oh, please give me this honor.
I do
She's
not
so mean.
I do not know what happened between you and Mr. Drummond, but there is a thing that if it was any other kind of forge, we would not be so concerned about in whose hands it is, but Mr. Drummond has the fortunate position to have his forged on a minor manifest zone to the plane of Fernia, the realm of fire, which is beneficial to forging, as you might expect. But he's also, well, not living up to his expectations. So you would suggest then, Ms. And he looks he looks at Tresca, and even though they're friends, he says, "Miss Treespeak, you suggest changing ownership?" And Tresca, to summarize, she starts like quoting certain things that she did in the employ of Hallis Drummond, like how she that one time made sure that certain payments did come through, how she shifted the planning around so that production could be increased for an order from House Cannith itself. She's kind of giving a bit of a rundown of her achievements to make clear that the forge would be in good hands. And you see Ulrich is taking notes and he's nodding along. And Lord Merrix, still in his straight-backed position, looks at everything that's going on. And once Tresca, once she's done, she goes like, whew, exhales. You see her thinking for a moment as if she's checking if she forgot anything on the list. But before she can say anything else, you hear Lord Merrix say, Miss Teasbeak, how has Mr. Drummond been dealing mostly with his employees, especially the Warforged? And Tresca gives a short summary that Mr. Drummond has held on to many of the Warforged by the promise of paying them, and the Warforged did trust him in that, but payment never came through. That's basically what she summarizes. To which Lord Merrix then, he leans back and he puts a finger to his mouth, pondering, and says, "Such a shame. We have these individuals who are willing to contribute to our society, to work hard, and to find their place, and then there are people like this Mr. Drummond who are unwilling to also compensate them for their efforts. If it were up to me..." Yeah?
Okay, sorry.
No.
Go on. Does it sound as if he's speaking the truth?
Make an insight check.
Also, I have a question while we do this for
Oh.
the DM.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but since Rebus has certain knowledge about the houses and the basic culture, is this symbol of the House Cannith a bull or a gorgon?
It's
And if
it's
not
actually
a gorgon, what is the... Yeah.
It is actually a gorgon, as in a metallic bull, and a gorgon is actually a artificially created magical metal bull. And it's...
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Not...
Thank you.
Not as in a gorgon, as in from Greek mythology. That's a different gorgon. The Medusa was a gorgon there, but no, it's a mechanical, magically animated bull. And House Cannith has the head of a gorgon as its sigil.
That would make sense, because it's like a cool construct that you would have to make with... Okay.
Exactly. Delphine, what did you roll on the insight check?
21.
21.
That's
All
the
right.
best I can do.
As you look and listen to him, and what convinces you that he's fairly honest about it is that it almost feels like like when he says that is the point where he drops the act of the super friendly noble. It almost feels like when he came here, he was just really polite and friendly and laughing. But now you get the impression that he's speaking more from the heart.
Okay, good.
And Lord Merrix says, if it were up to me, the fact alone that there are business people in the cogs under my dominion who are still not treating the Warforged with the respect that we would expect of them would be reason enough to disown him. But there's still, of course, the necessary paperwork and bureaucracy to follow for that. And he looks at Ulrich, gives him a glance. Ulrich says, that is correct, my lord, but considering also the achievements of Miss Treespeak and the backlog of payments, I think we can accelerate the process, my lord. And Lord Merrix says, don't explain it to me, Ulrich. Explain it to your clients. Yes, my lord. What I mean to say, there is some heavy evidence against him. I shall make sure that official order from House Cannith shall be sent to the address of Mr. Drummond today, and that by tomorrow, the ownership documents will be in the hands of Miss Tresca Tawny Teaspeak.
It'll take a whole night for this.
There needs to be forms need to be filled, and registries need to be updated, and messages need to be sent.
He's gonna hear in his head, "We can surely make it move faster than that, darling." I'm leaning over and
What's
he hears it in
happening?
his head.
Give me a persuasion check. I was torn between.
You're telepathically like pressuring the Lord or the
No,
or
Ulrich.
No, Ulrich.
Okay.
I
so
didn't get
was
there
like,
yet. Not yet. Total 10. Bad roll.
I
You-
have a question.
Yeah.
Is it obvious that, like, when Rain does her, like, I'm gonna talk to somebody thing, like, do I pick up that she just said something to him?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
You just see me like literally pull over the table. Just like smile that I want something, smile. But no, my mouth doesn't move. There's no incantation. There's no hand movement.
Okay.
don't do this.
Nope.
She-
I did this for you to know, like, this is coming.
You see, Ulrich, he clears his throat, and Lord Merrix then says, I understand that you probably have some urgency in this business, but Mr. Ulrich here is correct. There is certain paperwork that needs to be done, but I'm sure he will arrange for things that in the morning, and he looks over at Ulrich, everything is finished, and that the forge is in the hands of an owner who knows how to run a business. And he then looks over at Tresca, gives her a super friendly smile, and Tresca, like, I thank you. I'm very honored. I did not expect this to happen, but maybe it's for the better. Do we just do we have to come back or something? And then Ulrich says, no, wait. And he jots something down on a paper, and he hands this piece of parchment over to Tresca. This is already the note that we had this conversation, and that everything will now follow the official process. And we shall dispatch a messenger to Mr. Drummond immediately. And by tomorrow, you are the legal owner of the place. However, there are some caveats that I would need to inform you about. Mr. Drummond does still have a bill of about 970 gold pieces open with the house. So we might have to meet again, Miss Teesbeak, to discuss arrangements for a payment plan.
How unfortunate. She did nothing but do proper good job, and she is made to suffer the ill and stupidity of someone who is incompetent.
Well, I'm sure with her running the forge, she'll have employees that are willing to work for her, and she'll be able to drum up business in no time.
But does this mean she also inherits those ruffians that Drummond has put himself in with?
Ulrich says, ruffians?
Yes. These ruffians who are also incompetent at their simple jobs. Well, they delayed us by 5 minutes, but...
She's referring to the organization of the task.
The Dusk? Oh, Mr. Drummond. And Ulrich takes some notes. And you see Lord Merrix, you see him like smirk at this remark, like he's enjoying it a bit, and he says, I should not be surprised that someone who is so incapable of running business is running into deep with elements like the Dusk. But when I listen to the accomplishments that Miss Teesbeak has performed in the past, I think that the business will be under better hands with her, and that sooner or later she will have cleaned the books of Drummond Independent and will have no further debts to anyone. And I think you should feel free to rename the business from Drummond Independent to Teesbeak Independent, he says with a smile. Well, this was a nice thing to oversee. Ulrich, you're doing a tremendous job. You are as accurate as ever, and you're being very hospitable to our guests. I need to be about my business, and he gets up. Rebus?
I will move as he's getting up and just interject for a second. My apologies, my lord. If I might speak to you for a moment. We can be on our way if you prefer, or we can stay here. However, it's easiest for you to listen to my small request.
How about we walk a little bit? Your name being?
Rebus, so now.
Rebus. Huh. He shakes your hand with a very firm grip. Come, let's walk. And-
Dythun is gonna stand up and say, I need to stretch my legs. Do you mind if I join?
That wouldn't be any problem for me, friend. My lord.
Wonderful.
All right. So Rebus and Dythun leave with the Lord at this point, and once the door closes, you see Ulrich has already finished up some paperwork. He looks also at Rain and Delphine. Is there anything else I can do for you?
No, certainly not. No.
I turn to Ulrich. So this message will be dispatched immediately. I want to be there to see the look on his face.
If you wait at the main entrance, the messenger will pass by there. You could go with them.
You've been a peach.
Right. Also, friendly request. I'm not a big fan of people putting their voice in my head. We once had this I think she was a Kalashtar, and she was also trying to like do mind tricks with me. Not a big fan of that. No, thank you. But
That's not a trick at all.
I think I need to get back to my desk. So the messenger will be at the main entrance in a few moments. I will instruct him to look out for a friendly Triton lady and a half elf. And he looks over at Delphine. And Tresca, good luck with the business. And Tresca smiles, and she smiles at Ulrich. You're welcome. You should come over once, you know? And Ulrich, when I have time for it. And he closes his folder and leaves the room, and also leaves all of you to do whatever you would like to do. So, Dythun and Rebus, you already walked out with Lord Merrix, who you notice is he keeps up quite a pace when he's walking. He's one of these people who has this very long gait when he walks. Mm-hmm. But I think neither of you would have any trouble keeping up with that pace.
I don't think so.
And as you're out in the hallway, you pass by a few of the other clerks and employers here in the enclave. And Lord Merrix says, "What an interesting companionship you are. A Leonin? I have not seen one of your kind for a long time, but I've heard many good stories. And a warforged of magnificent make. I apologize if my question is rude, Rebus, but who was it? Do you know which creation forge originated you? Because I need to compliment the smiths there."
That is unfortunate. I was actually looking forward to ask you if you could point me in any kind of direction as to my makeup, because I seem to have forgotten that part. I feel like some of my memory passages must have been damaged at some point, and I cannot recall where it was made. So I'm sorry to not be able to answer your question.
Oh, you should not be sorry. That sounds like a most unfortunate fate. I can't imagine what it's like to forget such information. Dythun.
Do I believe there's something more to that?
More to that in the way what Lord Merrix says?
Yeah, like, does he know more than just like, oh, that's unfortunate? Like, I want to insight if he, like, I don't know how to ask the question I'm trying to ask, but
Is he
like,
full of shit?
kind of, yeah, like, do you know?
If he knows,
Do you know
like,
more
why I wouldn't
than
remember?
why you're saying that? Like,
Can you give me an insight check?
okay. I hate just being like, I will insight check.
Also, I
that's
want to-
nothing. That's a 9. I get.
That's
Nope.
a 9. You can still be, even with a roll of 9, you can be suspicious of his intent.
Definitely.
If Dythun would be suspicious of this noble acting like this, well, that's completely fair. But at this point, it is just your suspicion. You don't have really anything to go on, except I'm not sure how much experience Dythun would have with nobles of great houses, but you would get the feeling that he's putting on a lot of this noble presence with a friendly touch to it. He's not trying to be noble in a I am superior to you way, but I am noble, but I'm also your body.
He's being the exact type of noble that Dythun hates, which is the like, no, go back to your, like, go back up there. Why are you here? I don't like this. It's like, we're not friends.
Yeah.
And that's precisely why he's being very suspicious.
Yeah. Gotcha. And Merrix says, that is I wish I could know where every Warforged was created. Because in a way, the majority of them originate from technology that comes from places like these. But that is not something that it's not a question that I could immediately answer. Though and he looks at your body and the very special maid, it is not the typical model of Warforged. That should be something that should help me to find some more information.
I actually have a question for the DM.
Mhm.
We mentioned that the person who helped me, fix me up, send me on my way, did we have anything to go off of? Did I have a symbol, a marking, or anything of that kind? Or in the end, didn't we find anything?
I would say that any kind of maker's mark that was on you was mostly damaged and hard to restore. But the big thing to go on in your case is your very special frame that you have, the very ornamental and stylized frame, which is something that you have already also seen here now, especially now that you also saw many of the other Warforged in the city and down here in the cogs, is highly irregular for Warforged design. So that might be even better than having a maker's mark.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then going back into character.
Well, I appreciate any insight you might have. I assume that, if I may, being the overseer of so many forges and so many people working on so many things, I am sure that most Warforged were your responsibility or one of your factories. I would be very grateful to gather any information that might be useful. Just because it's a bit annoying having this small gap in my recollection. In case anything should go wrong with me, as you can see, I have been patched up and reconstructed where necessary, but being able to contact my original designer might be very useful. So I would appreciate it. Otherwise, I'm very happy to have made your acquaintance, and I will return with my group now.
Is there any address you're staying at? Is there any place or any way where I could direct any correspondence?
Sadly, not at the moment. I was going to ask, although there's probably other people who might help us more easily than yourself, because we will have to spend the night here, it seems, in the Cox, so we will need lodgings, but rather than
you do not have
I am not.
You do not have any lodging.
We just arrived this morning, and we did not expect this small errand to take so long. But I'm sure we will find a place to stay. There seems to be a lot of taverns around.
As you say that, you notice that the rest of the group comes out of the hallway behind you, and Ulrich is walking at front of them. And Lord Merrix immediately waves Ulrich over and says, "Mr. Ulrich, could you please, for these companions, for the 4 of them, arrange lodging for tonight here in the Enclave? They are my guests."
Fine.
That is most friendly and generous of you. It was not necessary. I'm sure we will be perfectly fine anywhere else. But if it's not much bother,
You are dealing with an entrepreneur, a businessman who operates under House Cannith business, but operates with practices I disagree with. You dealt with this disturbance and helped correcting it. This is my way of thanking you for making the cogs run a little bit more fair and a little bit smoother. Think nothing of it.
A
one is glad to be of
gracious
service.
offer, and I, for one, thank you.
I hope that our lodging here in the Enclave will be to your liking.
I want to, before we say goodbye to Lord Merrix,
Mhm.
I would like to do an insight check, not just on a particular sentence that he said, but more in a general way, knowing how he's presenting in front of us now and how he appeared in my recovered, although maybe damaged, memories. I'd like to know if there's something there that doesn't quite click.
Looking for a kind of disconnect there. Give me, considering the visions you had and these different images that you saw of him in your vision, give me an insight check with advantage, please.
Oh no! I just saw both of those.
It happens.
Oh boy.
I rolled a 3 and a 1.
Maybe it's the situation, the fact that you just had these strange visions that showed a completely different man from the one that you're talking to now, this friendly, welcoming man. That kind of confuses you, maybe puts you on the wrong foot, but the only thing that you can get from now is this, that there seems to be a kind of disconnect between these hidden memories this man unlocked and the way he's presenting himself now. But there's not much more you can go on here. And as you stand there thinking and you see the rest of your party also who followed Ulrich heading for the main entrance, you see that there's another clerk, a larger Goliath coming up to Lord Merrix. Lord Merrix, I'm sorry to interrupt, but your next appointment is coming up. We're here to... Yes, I am aware. Thank you very much. Well, duty calls. Your lodging shall be prepared. Mr. Ulrich shall make sure that you will have a place to sleep, and I hope to meet again soon. Rebus. And then he turns to Dythun. I apologize, I didn't catch your name.
Oh, Dythun.
Dythun. Dythun? And please, send my regards to the rest of your companions. It was a most interesting little get-together. And
Interesting is a wonderful word for it.
And he smiles, just taking it, and turns around and follows the Goliath to his next appointment.
My panel glitches slightly as he walks away.
Is
I turn to Dythun.
is Ulrich still with us? Or
Yeah,
has he
Ulrich-
walked away this...
He's still there because he's flipping through some sheets to see where he's going to put you for the night in the enclave.
Okay, then I'm not going to say anything then.
Okay.
And I basically whispering to Dythun, what did you do that we're sleeping here?
You'd have to ask Rebus that one. It's an interesting, he kind of like looks to Ulrich and then like looks back to Delphine. Maybe later.
Okay.
He just doesn't like, he doesn't want to talk ill about the person's boss in front of him.
Right.
He has a little bit of like, little bit of that like noble, correct processes of things still in him.
Yeah.
He's like,
Small bit of respect still left.
yeah, he's like, now's not the time.
I assume Tresca's still with us.
Yeah, Tresca is also still with you. She's
as
like,
well.
yeah,
So-
she has a few papers of her own in her hand now, and is still like, kind of smiling at the things that happened, but also a little bit confused. So, yeah, it's she's in between two emotions.
So I will turn towards Delphine upon her remark. What do you mean? I thought we needed lodging for tonight.
But it's not that common that someone just sleeps at the enclave.
Well, I assume it's not the usual protocol, but a room was offered to us, and it would be very rude not to accept it. It is for free, and otherwise one would have to find one in one of the inns or taverns. Would you rather do that? I could probably tell Lord Merrix to not expect us tonight, but I don't know if that would be proper.
I'll pop up
I-
behind Delphine's shoulders. Of course not. We're happy to stay in this lovely abode. Yes, right, Delphine? Yes. Yes.
I'm just rolling my eyes.
Delphine,
it's
It
okay.
would be rude to decline it, yes.
Delphine will hear in her head, think of all the fun we can have tonight in such a exciting place full of secrets here.
I'm not answering this.
Delphine, as a member of another great house,
Yeah.
how do you feel about this hospitality from House Cannith?
Okay, on one side, our houses are on rather okayish terms, even though there are a little bit difficulties about payments and stuff, the normal things, but it's like a bit suspicious.
All right, cool.
Also on the regard that there is like that Lord Merrix had this kind of like a slimy smile and everything, so it's like, something smells.
Yeah. All right. So, lodging will be provided for in the in the enclave. And for the rest of the day, you know that Alric is going to make sure that a messenger delivers the message of the new ownership to Drummond, and at least Rain said that she wanted to go along to see that delivered in hand. Is there anyone else who would like to go along, or is there anything else that you would like to get done in the rest of the day? Otherwise, we can just basically forward to the next day.
Dythun's gonna look around and be like,
would-
should anyone go with Rain and the messenger, or
Well,
I was thinking,
gloating or comfort? Oh, such a difficult decision.
I think it's obvious which one you'll choose.
Comfort, of course.
Naturally.
You do see, as you say, as you're thinking about gloating and comfort, you do notice that there is that Ulrich is talking to the messenger who's getting ready to deliver the message. And the messenger is this human woman who has very utility, like, looks basically like a post woman, and has a badge of House Cannith on her chest, but she also has this rug rolled up under her arm, and she gets the papers from Ulrich, and she just quickly discusses something with him, and then she unrolls the rug, and the rug hovers a few inches over the ground, and she just climbs on top of it.
Excuse me.
Yes?
You have a spare card blank on you.
I mean, this is a carpet big enough for two, but
A spare card, paper card.
a card?
Yes.
What for?
Well, I'd like to also quickly send something sweet to the recipient of the very important correspondence you're about to send out now.
She looks over at Ulrich, and Ulrich just shrugs his shoulders, and she gives you a bit of paper and a pencil to write with.
I take the paper, I ignore the pencil. Just like, I literally just like wave it off. And I'll pull up my tunic with the tip of my finger. And Rain has a tattooed right hand. And it's almost like a henna kind of looking thing. But most of the ink is really concentrated on her index finger. Like it's like almost completely, the tip is almost completely dark. And she'll take the edge of the pen, as her finger, and actually starts writing, and ink manifests on the card.
Nice.
Dythun is very interested in what Rain is writing. Is there a way he can like peek over her shoulder and like see what's happening?
She's not doing it like this. She's literally just like.
I feel like Dythun is tall enough and Rain is
Yeah.
short enough. that
She's
it would
literally
work.
writing in common. Best greetings, heart, Rain. And then I'm going to hold it in front of me and say, for Drummond. And as soon as I say Drummond's name, the ink on the card goes completely invisible.
Nice.
And I hand it to the courier.
Oh, well. She folds it up, puts it also in her bag. All right, then. Gotta make my delivery. And she...
All the haste to you. Fly now.
As if Drummond
And-
knows who Rain is at all.
and she
He's
speaks...
gonna be like, what the? Who's Rain? What?
Oh, he knows.
I think he'll know.
Oh, he knows.
She speaks the magic word to command the flying rug to start moving, and you see the courier woman fly off on the rug.
And I'm just turning to Rain as she says, "No, fly." So like, yeah, you know, this person is not a seagull or anything.
Seagulls have a place in the world too.
Dythun will say, I will say that's a It's an interesting trick you can do.
Oh, this pish posh.
I like it.
Well, let me know if you have any more creative uses for it, but perhaps tomorrow. It's been a long day.
Right.
I might interject. I would very much like to give the news to Stoke and his crew. Would that be okay if I go to the tavern before reuniting with you all? Unless you want to join for a drink or food.
Isn't that rather far? I thought Tresca would be informing them.
Well,
Is Tresca
This
still
is
here?
just
Yeah,
personal preference.
Tresca is kind of lingering and is checking with what the rest of you is going to do. But if you would ask her to, she would be inclined to go back to the Troll's Nose and also inform Stoke about the news. If you want to, you can tag along with her. But it would be by foot, again, like 40 minutes by foot back to the Troll's Nose.
Yeah, I don't mind. I feel like the day is mostly over. We would just be finding our lodgings and hunkering down for the night. So I will go with her and just deliver the news and then make it back.
Dythun will go with those two. And then kind of like think about it and wonder if maybe we should leave Delphine and Rain here alone and if that's a good idea. But then be like, no, I'm gonna go get a drink. and go with Rebus.
All right. So
I'm not paid enough.
I'm
for this.
following them.
Oh, are you going to?
Yeah, I'm going to.
Okay. Now Dythun's really concerned about leaving Rain here alone in the enclave if Rain's also not going.
what's Rain gonna do?
Well, I suppose we can see how a certain, perhaps one of those fighters back at the tavern has received some divine inspiration. Maybe performs differently tonight. I will grace you with my company.
And thus the company has been graced with Rain's company. And
I will say, if what you want is to just have a beer or something to eat, I'm sure there also are other establishments closer to where we're staying tonight. I wouldn't want to make you walk for an hour and a half.
It's not a problem. I'd love to keep you company, and I'm interested to see what they all have to say.
Right then. Let's go.
all right. So the four of you can easily, without any further interruption of your journeys back to Troll's Nose, this time there is no ambush by any kind of rivals. You make your way back to the Troll's Nose. It's still pretty crowded there. There seems to be for now a break in the fighting ring. So more people are over at the bar and having a few drinks. Stoke and his crew are still there. And when Tresca and a lot of you break the news to him, you see Stoke just gets really excited. And he just lifts Tresca up and like hugs her and then puts her on the table. And all the Warforged raise a mug to her in celebration and clap. And Tresca is like, she's blushing, but she's also laughing and just and is enjoying it for a bit. You can, all of you who would like to have a drink or something to eat, you can easily get some. Throughout your stay, there would also be another fight in the little kind of boxing circle they have in the Tavern B.
Dythun is very interested in watching those.
That's great because you if you approach and look at the fighting ring, you quickly would notice, especially an experienced fighter like you, Dythun, the people fighting here, if they would try these moves in a battlefield, they would be dead.
Yeah,
And
it's all amateur stuff.
yeah, and it's also a lot of showboating that they're doing. There's like
It's lucha libre.
exactly, and including with fancy outfits and stuff like that. But some of the wounds still look pretty serious. Like when you start watching, you see one of the contestants gets like full on body pile driver into the ground, and you hear the bone snapping there, and the audience goes like, "Oh!"
I do have a follow-up question.
Well,
Is this a fighting ring that In puts on, or is this like a "hey, who wants to come fight" situation?
It is option 2. You can actually sign up for that, and if you perform well, you can earn, like, you pay a bit of coin to fight, but if you win enough rounds, you actually also get paid out of the prize money that can be earned here.
Theoretically, where would one go to do that?
Well, you actually see there is on the side of the ring, and the rest, like last time you
Just
already...
out of curiosity.
Yeah, just hypothetically.
The rest of the players last time already saw that there's this hobgoblin ring leader here who has also a kind of like a metal tube or horn that he speaks through, but his voice gets magically amplified as he speaks through it. And he is both like he's the moderator, he's the hype man, but he's also
like
the guy,
the ringmaster kind of guy.
He's really the ringmaster, and he's also the guy that you go to if you want to sign up for a fight in there.
I think Dythun's gonna maybe slowly make his way over there.
And you make your way over there right as the last fight is over, and one of the contestants is being helped out of the ring. He broke his leg. You move over, and you see the hobgoblin guy. You notice he has this audacious fur coat on, and like these cheap. They are clearly metal chains, but he colored them to look like gold. It looks really cheap. And he sits there, and he looks at you. Well. New contestant for the squared circle.
I'm sorry, the squared circle?
Yes. Don't
What?
break your don't break your head about that one. Rather, you want to break some legs?
Well, I'd be interested to see what the rate is for a fight or two.
He looks you up and down, and he leans back in his chair. He looks at you. You're a big boy.
And you have a fancy fur coat.
I see. We have a game of stating the obvious. I like the cut of your jib. Well, that pay means that depends on the risk you're willing to take on. You consider yourself a talented warrior?
I could handle myself in a ring.
Oh.
No, it's just a hobby. I do it on the weekends.
You think you can handle yourself? Well. How about this? 5 copper pieces. And I put you up against our current reigning champion.
I also just realized I have no idea how much money I have. Hold on. I have 10 gold. We're good. Okay. I have 10 gold. We're good. It just occurred to me. I was like, wait, do I actually have money?
Didn't we get paid like half? Or is that not? I'm remembering.
No.
Not yet.
No.
We're basically poor.
That was my brain slipping for a second. We're good.
5 copper pieces. I put you on against the champion. And if you win, and I gotta be honest, that champion, she's a beast. If you win, you're gonna make 3 gold pieces out of those 5 copper pieces. Now that's an exchange rate you don't see anywhere on Corvair. But you gotta win.
Reigning champion for how long?
Last 2 days. She's really
Oh,
tough.
Well,
Just to be sure, what are your rules?
Well, it's pretty simple. Rule number 1, no killing.
Obviously.
Rule number 2, we're not paying for any harm done to you. You pay your own healers.
Naturally.
Rule number 3, you need an outfit.
Dythun looks at his, like, pristine, gleaming chainmail and, like, not doing it for you.
Right, if you can't get an outfit, do you have a cool name that I can announce you with? Like, the Lion of Vengeance, the Roar from the Deep, the Ferocious Fury? Oh, I like that one. I'm gonna write that down.
Just so you know, all of those kind of suck.
Well, yeah, you win
no
some, you lose
offense,
some.
but offense.
Dythun the Scorned.
The Scorned. Dythun the Scorned. Scorned. That's a good poetic word. That's a 5 gold piece word if I ever heard one tonight. All right, Dythun the Scorned. You give me those coins and I sign you up. Get ready in that corner and I call up the champion and we're gonna have ourselves a good kerfuffle.
One more question. It's all hand to hand, no weapons?
Oh yeah,
Or-
absolutely. Leave that weapon out of the ring, hand to hand. And well, you got claws?
I mean, they're on my hands.
Yeah, you can't really take those off now, can you?
It'd be a bit hard.
Yeah. I'll let the champion know, but she's gonna be fine with that. Don't worry. She likes a challenge.
Wonderful.
Perfect. Now give me that copper.
Oh, absolutely. Do you change for a gold piece?
Ah, whoa, man, look at you. Dythun the Scorned, Dythun the Rich, but I think I have change for a few gold pieces. Here you go, lad.
Yeah, I literally just have 10 gold. So,
Like, you have to change for a,
It
takes-
for a bill of 50 euros for
For-
like
Oh.
5 cents.
For sake of brevity, he's able to give you change. It's
okay. So I get 9 silver
You get a bag.
What?
You get a bag of coin of
and
uh,
10
copper
copper, and
pieces
then a
that
minus
everyone has been.
4 copper, right?
yeah.
Okay.
While Dythun is getting ready for his Lucha Libre fight here, what's the rest of you doing? Are you like? I mean, you can clearly see that the big Leonin man is talking with the ringleader, and might be up to something. What's the rest of you doing while you're still here in the Troll's Nose?
Oh, I'm gonna get something
I'm
to
actually
drink
quite-
and watch the fight.
I'm actually quite interested in seeing Dythun, so after giving the news to Sturg and his crew and leaving them with Tresca, I am going to approach the ring and just observe, because
Yeah, I will say Dythun
really
mentioned
can fight.
none of this to the crew. He was just like, walks off and was like, let's go see what happens.
Are there many people in front of the ring?
I'd
And
say
we
like
just push your way through.
there's like 20 people gathered around the ring.
Okay, I push my way a little through.
And Rain as well, if I heard
Well,
that correctly.
it would just be like telepathy, turn, telepathy, about face, telepathy, step back, and in the confusion, a path will open, and I just like daintily walk to the front of the ring.
As you-
I'm
as
sure
you-
that doesn't alarm any of the drunk people about to watch a fight.
As
Yeah.
you, as Delphine, you make your way, you push your way through a little bit by force, a little bit by your fancy appearance. There's some people who recognize you from earlier today, And Rain, you make your way forward and you do your little telepathic instructions. And most of the people are taken by surprise because it's not every day that you hear like perfectly clear words in your head that are not your own voice. But some of the people are basically, you see some who might be a little bit deeper in their cups who don't respond as fast to these things, and you have to still like push them a little bit out of the way.
Couth.
And there's also this, there's this one ogre in the crowd who you like still like step away, and he's like, oh. And he has sitting on his shoulder, he has this halfling on his shoulder, and he says, I just heard another voice in me head. And the halfling goes, you always hear voices in your head. Well, that's true.
I say aloud, you should listen to this one.
Oh, there it was again. But he also like, you can like sneak around him. There's like, you get the idea. I don't know how it's usually in Triton society, Rain, you tell me, but you get the idea the people here are not very accustomed to the fact that there's words appearing in their head.
I'm pretty sure this is absolutely not a thing in Triton world at all. It's probably why Rain is not there.
Gotcha. So, Dythun.
There's probably posters back home that are like, beware of mysterious voices in your head.
As the rest of the party just gets a place in the crowd, Dythun, you arrange your payment, you get ready in your corner, and you already see there's a bit of excitement because there's a Leonin going to fight here now. And you also see that there's some cardboard signs being raised in the audience, and they're all about this silver kiss person. And at one point, after a bit of waiting, you see the ringleader steps into the ring, and he still has this magic horn, and he goes, Ladies and gentlemen, visitors of the Troll's Nose, welcome to today's main event. Challenging our reigning champion is a cat that got claws. And you hear there's some cheering and some clapping, a little bit hesitant.
Dythun just get like,
A cat that got gloves? What?
he's like giving him like a eat shit look.
He comes from a place beyond the cogs. He's vicious, he's dangerous, and he's brave. It is Dythun the Scourge.
Also, this entire time, he's just like normal, straight back posture, just like looking around. Like, he's not like
What's up?
amped up or anything. He's just like standing there, like, this will be interesting. He's definitely not playing into the whole theatrics of it.
Yeah. And you see that the ringleader like looks at you, expecting you to do something, but once he notices you don't do anything,
He goes like that.
and the ringleader just goes like, In the other corner, coming back today to defend her title as she did already 3 times today. She's mysterious. She's cloaked. And she's deadly. She might be this Leonin's goodnight kiss. She is the Silver Kiss. And as that goes up, the whole entire crowd goes like, woo! And from
I
a
say
side,
under my breath to no one in particular, I bet today she's overconfident.
she, from a side room, you see this black hooded and cloaked figure stepping in. A little bit shorter than you, Dythun, but still fairly tall frame. And the figure climbs over the edges of the ring, still leaves the cape and hood on, and as the figure looks up, you see just a complete steel mask under it. Just these rectangle slits for eyes and for a mouth. I think the last time I compared it with the mask of Doctor Doom from the Fantastic Four.
Yes.
And
I get what you're going for.
yeah, and also like these silver linings on the cape and cloak that the figure is wearing. And stretching out from under the cloak are these arms, and with ending in gloves that are covered in kind of like boxing gloves. And there's like some warm-up punches coming, and
Dythun like reaches out of the ring and just like grabs somebody's drink and takes it and hands it back and say, "It's on me."
And the Silver Kiss approaches, comes closer to the middle, and the ringleader also gestures you into the middle.
Yeah, he steps forward.
The ringleader lowers this horn he has, so he just speaks to the two of you. All right, you understand what the rules are? No killing. Make it a bit of a fight. And Dythun, come on, work on your showmanship skills. Come on, be a bit more flamboyant.
I'm here to fight.
Yeah. Good. I'm also here to entertain people. All right.
That's your job, not mine.
God damn it! Why are you so wise? Well, anyway, and he puts his he puts his horn back to his lips.
He smiles at that.
Let's get ready to rumble. And he moves a little bit away. 3.
Dythun like holds out a fist to the Silver Kiss.
Yeah, to touch gloves. She also stretches out and then nods with her head, and then takes a few steps back. 2, 1, and the ringleader just makes with his mouth. He just says the sound "ding, ding, ding" through his horn because he doesn't have a bell to ding with, and
that's wonderful.
That starts the fight. Dythun, can you roll me initiative, please?
Absolutely.
Let's go.
How do I do that on D&D Beyond?
Just click on your initiative.
You click on your
Where's
initiative.
Where is initiative?
If Rain wants to insert
next to your armor.
shenanigans, is that part of
Next to your
initiative?
Oh, that's right.
If anyone wants to insert shenanigans, that would be after both fighters are up. Then we're just gonna outside
Understood.
Almost landed on a 20, but it rolled to 8. Thanks, D&D Beyond.
And what's the total? Is the total
I
is
love
8?
that it's
It's 8. I don't have an
Alright.
initiative bonus.
Yeah.
I love that it's digital dice. Like, there's no reason to make it like give you hope and then take it away. But they still did the animation where like it looks like it's going to land on a good number, and then it doesn't.
They know what they were doing.
There's unfortunately the Silver Kiss rolled a 20. She also doesn't have a bonus, but she rolled a 20.
I mean, we would have been even at that point anyway. So
so the fight begins, and the Silver Kiss like immediately tries to punch with her left, like more like it's not like the full force punch, but more like gauging the distance. Natural 1, it doesn't hit. Goes like you can bob out of the way, and she just waits for whatever you would like to do. Dythun, how would you like to respond?
Dythun smiles, and he's going to let out a roar. Specifically one that's a bit daunting as a bonus action. And I would like them to roll a wisdom saving throw.
A wisdom saving throw.
Do it.
Okay.
The DC 13.
Got a total of 12.
Yes.
So they
so they're frightened of me until the end of my next turn.
Okay, so you let out this daunting roar that echoes.
At that point, he leans back, flexes his claws, and just straight out roars right in her face.
Nice. Like really with your face is framed by your majestic mane. As your mouth opens, you show your teeth, that roar rolls out, and it echoes in the chamber here. And you see the crowd goes quiet for a moment, but then you hear people like, "Woo! Yeah! Woo!"
I get to choose who's frightened of me, so it's just her.
Nice. And that was your bonus action?
And everyone else is
yes.
just like, "Woo! Do it!"
With that, as he does that, he just comes in with an unarmed strike.
Oof.
Oy, oy, oy.
Bring
Let's
it.
see what that is. That's so much better. That's a 22.
Oh, that certainly hits, yeah.
Thank you. Let's roll damage. It's just 3 damage on that.
3 damage, but like
Because I don't roll for that one.
still like quaking a bit from this unsuspected roar, you deck her right in the face, and your fist hits the metal of the mask, and you can hear this dong sound as the face goes to the side, and she steps a few steps away from you. Anything?
Dythun just smiles, and that's my turn.
Smiling is a free action. Out of those who are not involved in the combat, is there anyone who would like to do some shenanigans from outside of the ring? I think Rain had something in mind.
Absolutely open a telepathic link to the Silver Kiss.
Always.
Mm-hmm.
I just have to look at the creature. I don't,
Yeah.
I don't need to see their eyes or anything.
Yeah.
So I'll make that connection, but her face, her eyes are clearly just like looking just like.
Yeah.
And my intent as a player is to just kind of knock the Silver Kiss off any strategy or any thinking, but maybe the fear already did this.
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of want to send to his voice. Oh no, my champion! What great teeth and fangs! You should be wary. Run away.
That's sent over, and you can't really immediately see the result because Silverkiss just got hit in the face by a Leonin fist, and but the message does arrive.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else from outside of the ring wants to do something while this is happening?
No.
No? All right.
Bring the show.
Then we see at the top of the round, Silverkiss is standing there. It's like, seems to be a bit disoriented, and is going to make an attack with disadvantage because she's still frightened from the roar. Gonna make an attack at disadvantage against you, Dythun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think that a total of 7 hits.
No.
No. Like, the strike is more like a haymaker, trying to just connect with something, but
And
it goes...
Dythun just goes.
Yeah, bops out of the way. And you can hear from underneath the mask, you can just hear this, oh crap, voice coming. It's your turn, Dythun.
I think I'm just gonna go for another unarmed strike.
Sure.
Let's see what this one is. That's a 16.
That just hits.
Perfect. So that's 3 more damage.
And as she she went wide with her attack, leaving an
Yeah,
opening.
he's going like low for like abdomen blow.
Bum! And you do notice that where your fist connects at the abdomen, whatever is under her outfit is hard as steel that you punch against. But you still see that there's quite some impact from your blow. And she did not expect the fight would open like this.
Oh, I doubt she would expect that. Yeah, I don't have anything else right now.
All right.
That's it for me.
The outside the ring crowd. Anything would like to do something?
Pretend you're dead. Lie down. Yes, lie down.
So
You
at the
Right.
end of that turn, she's not frightened anymore. By the way.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rain, can you give me an your choice, intimidation or persuasion check?
Persuasion. Total 16.
See the Silverkiss staggering a bit, quickly shaking her head. That's all you get for now. Anyone else wants to do something while the show is going on?
Just cheering.
You do see that you do also see that some of the signs that were for the Silverkiss are being lowered slowly. And you actually see there's this one human in the crowd who took out a bit of charcoal and is like crossing out Silver Kiss on his sign, and is really hastily writing Dythun on the sign.
And it's probably misspelled, and
It's
he does
like-
not care.
Yep.
Exactly. It's like DAIZUN or something. Yeah, that brings us back to the Silver Kiss, who is going to like lunge at you and is going to try to grapple you, Dythun. So I need you to
Okay.
make an athletics check, please.
Ooh, that's a 19.
I got a total of 18. And
Wonderful.
and
This is
so,
going so much better than I expected. I legitimately thought Dythun was gonna get just the shit beat out of him.
yeah, he goes like, she lunges forward to try to grab you, but you shrug her off, and but then she is going to use her action surge to still launch an unarmed attack against you.
Okay.
It's a total of 18.
Oh, that's my armor class.
Then it just hits. 1 point of bludgeoning damage.
All right. Down to 21.
All right, then it's also your turn.
I think Dythun's gonna like give a good nod, and then he's gonna do something interesting. He's gonna make a claw attack, but I want to attack her cloak. I want to
Aha.
like rip it and like pull the hood off of it.
That's mean. Come on, man. That's so mean.
Look,
It's
I
like
was
the only
told
thing
to
that
I
this
was told to
person
put on a
has.
show. Okay.
That's true. So you specifically want to rip up the cloak.
Yes.
If you specifically, there is indeed, just as a warning,
Hey,
there
does
is
someone want to give me a cat vantage?
Tail wiggle.
there there is if you specifically want to try to get the cloak, you would make an attack roll, but with disadvantage to try to get specifically the cloak.
I'm fine for that.
All right, make an attack roll with disadvantage with your claws, not so
Yes.
your claws.
I mean, it's the
armor-
same.
Right.
Oh, that's not gonna work.
Bam! And I have the feeling someone's gonna give you cat vantage for that.
Well,
So
I rolled as that came in. So what do I do about that?
roll again without disadvantage. So just a straight
Okay,
roll.
I'm gonna ignore that. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's a natural 20.
Natural 20. So as you,
24 total, if it matters.
that natural 20 was sponsored by Gwenora. Thank you very much. And you,
Cat.
Go.
you ling in that you reveal your claws. They reflect the light of the torches and the light for a bit as you fling in, and just the rope is shredded and it falls off to reveal. You can now see that this mask that the Silver Kiss is wearing is strapped to what looks like a warforged head. So it's like a metal face wearing a metal mask over it. And
Dythun knew at the first, like, point of contact, he was like, no, this is a warforged. He's like, this is gonna be interesting.
and she looks at the cloak, and you can hear her snicker from underneath the mask, like, this got interesting.
Yeah, so now I'm gonna action surge and actually punch her.
Perfect. Action surge and punch.
Now we're not gonna actually fight. It's cool.
That was personal. Now it's back to the fight. That's another nat 20.
What?
It is.
D&D Beyond is my friend now.
All right.
So
That
that's
means
6 damage. I
Six-
guess.
how do you want to do this?
Oh, he's gonna just smile. And I think, like, if I can, he's just gonna, like, go in and, like, try to pick up and just slam her to the ground.
that just whoop, bum, slam her to the
Yeah.
ground.
Just
And-
straight up, like, pick up and just throw right on her back.
Right on her back, on top of the cloak that fell down into the arena. And all of you just hear this boom sound as the weight of the Silver Kiss crashes into the arena, accelerated by the force of Dythun. And you hear from the crowd, there rolls this whoa through the crowd as this happens. And the Silver Kiss lies on the ground at the edges of the ring. The ringmaster pulls up, takes his horn. That's one. That's two. That's three. Silver Kiss is out. Dythun the Scorned is our champion. And you see these makeshift signs being put up now, quickly replaced
None of
with
them are spelled correctly.
every single one of them is
As far as
spelled
the chat is concerned.
spelled incorrectly. There's a lot of Daishun and Dythun and stuff like that in there, but
The ringmaster is going to hear in his head, and the pot is doubled.
make a persuasion check
Is
at
it?
disadvantage. This is a greedy guy. He's not gonna be persuaded so easily to.
At
The
disadvantage.
pot is the pot. Like the pot is whatever is there. I don't.
The lowest roll is a 14.
You're gonna see what happens. But the crowd goes wild, and there's cheering and clap, and the ringmaster comes in to lift up your hand, Dythun, to like praise you as the new champion, and as he also takes you out of the ring to arrange
Oh
payment.
no, he's actually Dythun's gonna stay and help Silver Kiss back up.
That's real sportsmanship. You reach out with your hand, help her up, and you help her up, and she nods to you, and in the sound of the cheering and the clapping, celebrated as the winner. We're gonna take a break here to take a quick break, and after that, see what else we're gonna do tonight after earning a little bit of money in some ring fighting. All right, we're gonna be back in about 10 minutes, so like 40 in whatever hour it is, wherever you are. So see you in 10. Take a drink, stretch, pet your pets, and see you in 10 minutes. Welcome back,
Wow.
everyone.
Sounds and words.
Yeah, these
Hey.
are indeed words. We are back after a short break, and we have our adventurers still in the troll's nose. Dythun, you just triumphed over the champion of the squared circle, the Silver Kiss, and
Indeed.
you did get your 5 gold that were promised, and the ringleader also threw in another 3 gold as an
Ooh.
extra bonus. And he does ask you if you ever feel again like coming to fight in his squared circle, you should come back and return for a show.
I'll consider it. Especially if she's still around.
Silver Kiss at this point has also, after the fight, she's just taken up a place at the bar, talking with a few people. She's taken off the mask at this point, and under it is a warforged face of steel and wood, and she's just having some conversation with people at the bar. At this point, the Warforged and Tresca are still also celebrating a bit your great victory today. And you can spend the rest of your day here in the Troll's Nose, or you can go somewhere else. But you do know that you have lodgings available for you in the Cannith enclave, where rooms for you are prepared. And as soon as you wish to, you can just return there and enjoy a night of rest in Cannith luxury, which would include actually warm bath, running water, and for each of your own rooms, an invisible servant who takes care of your laundry, of your folding, and assists you wherever necessary.
Absolutely second nature to Rain to tell someone what to do around her.
Yes, that sounds appropriate.
Before we're leaving, or I don't know if we're leaving at once or everyone separately, I will basically go over to Tresca and her new group of employees and basically place my hand around her shoulder. So, now that you're having your own fine shop, I have a request.
Oh, well, anything. I mean, you helped me in getting this. What can I help you with?
I'm just taking this way too heavy shield and place it in front of her. So I've got this thing, and since Rain gave it to me, I don't wanna throw it somewhere. Can you make this like a little bit more fittable for me? Like, you know, not that heavy, practical.
Whew, that's a big and beautiful item.
Especially big.
Tell you what, once we're done finishing the order for your patron, for the guild handler, I can see if I can make some time to adapt this.
That would be great.
Good. This looks very fascinating to work on.
Can I leave this here with you?
And you see Tresca looks at it like, not really sure, but then Stoke like, whoop, picks it up, looks at it. I can carry that for now.
Perfect. Okay, I think we will see us tomorrow. Looking where the offers are.
Yes, shall we just meet up at Drummond's Forge tomorrow morning?
Yes, this is a good idea.
Good. Then I shall make sure that everything will be ready, and we will then finish the crafting of the burning idol.
Perfect.
All right.
Okay, then until tomorrow.
Perfect. If there's nothing else of business that you would like to do today, I would just assume you spent the rest of your day enjoying whatever the cogs have to offer and the luxuries that you have in the Cannith enclave. As mentioned, you are given fairly luxurious rooms, and your night is very restful. You are woken in the morning by gentle chimes, illusionary music that plays in the room to wake you. And you all benefit from a long rest should you need to regain anything. So you can press that long rest button on your sheet.
Nice.
I think I'm good, but just in case.
And you are also, each of you is brought breakfast to the room. A selection of baked goods, some jam, some fruit and dried meats. Whatever you would like for breakfast is served to you. The invisible servants in your room make sure that any bags or clothing that you had with you is folded or ready for you to be worn. And you are also, before you leave, one of the clerks actually asks you if you would like to have transportation to your next destination.
Bane looks at everyone like.
It's actually, at that point, Ulrich comes up and says, yes, well, Lord Merrix asked me to offer you a ride on one of our larger carpets that could hold all four of you. I'm not sure where it should bring you, but the carpet will find its way back to us then.
Splendid. Yes, yes.
I'm quite curious. I've never tried such a means of transportation.
Oh, it's the most interesting way of traversing. It feels like you're floating, but it's actually a rug floating underneath you.
That sounds fascinating. I'll be looking forward to it.
I guess the question is, where are we headed?
To Drummond's, of course.
Well, I guess it's not called that anymore.
I'm sure the flying rug will be able to gather where we meet.
Oh, yes.
Since apparently it can be told to go anywhere. So
I'm just more interested in Drummond's reaction to our grand arrival on such a majestic, magical thing. Rain just goes up to if there's a carpet ready laid on, Rain is just going to sit on top and be like, how does this work?
There's a fairly large carpet, like a woven carpet that's hovering over the ground, and it does indeed have space enough for up to even 5 people to be seated here on the carpet. And you're up on you can easily fit on it. And as you get on it, it just lowers for a moment, like the extra weight puts it down a bit, but it stabilizes soon, and then you can just gently sit on it.
Fascinating. Come now.
Rebus, I am actually, just give me a bit of a moment. I am finishing my breakfast because I don't usually eat food, and there's a lot of really fancy, delicious items that I've never tried before. So I am inspecting each of them, and like not only the taste or the smell. And since I do not have a mouth per se, you can see the faceplate kind of slide up, and like a little opening appear under the faceplate, kind of like a big mouth, and like I will just place the whatever piece of like a cupcake, for example, into there, and then it'll just close. And
I think it's very interesting because I think until this point he did not realize that Rebus actually ate anything. He's just like,
well, I do not need sustenance in this manner, but I can consume it and analyze its properties, like taste and smell, and if there's anything dangerous in it, and so on.
Interesting.
And I have never consumed any item like this before, so I just wanted to give it a try now that I can. I guess you could say I was curious. Does it unsettle you? I could stop.
Oh, no, not at all.
Alright. I will take the rest of like the cupcake that I was finishing from the very baked goods in breakfast and just put the rest of it inside my head, technically, and make my way to the carpet.
I will basically climb up the carpet, set behind Rain, and lean against her while having my head a little bit more down, so that I can sleep a few minutes longer.
You like it, Delphine, here. I mean, in a way of speaking, it's almost nostalgic sitting on this carpet. It's almost like being back at sea. The way it waves.
And Dythun, I guess, will just go sit wherever on the carpet. Just probably like cross-legged, sitting there, like not really sure how to sit on the carpet.
Yeah. It's a bit. It's of course a little bit finding your right way to sit and get a good position on it. But at one point, you kind of figure out that it's like sitting. You just have to imagine like you're sitting down on a carpet on the ground, even though it's technically not on the ground, which takes a bit of adjusting to. But sooner or later, all of you find your place on the carpet, and as if it just knows that all the expected guests are on there, the carpet starts to move forward, and a bit of acceleration also gets you, you need to get used to it, but before you know it, you're out of the front main entrance of the enclave, and zooming down the thoroughway into the cogs again. And this mode of transportation is significantly faster than walking, because before you know it, you're already once again past that square where that friendly minotaur with the rings on his horse is selling his wares, and he's just quickly waving at you as you whoosh by, and go around the corner to pull into the back to that square where Drummond's Independence is situated. The carpet stops in front of the entrance, and as you decelerate, you notice already that something's wrong here as you look at the building, and you see that windows have been thrown in, the front door has been smashed, and you also smell soot or ash coming from the inside of the building, but you can hear already on the inside, you can hear voices talking, and you hear Tresca's and Stokes' voice among them.
Dythun immediately like dismounts and like starts walking.
Gotcha.
Rebus will follow immediately after. Yeah.
So much for our entrance. And Rain just a bit sullenly gets off the carpet and walks in up briskly.
Delphine goes.
Yeah, basically, since she didn't notice that they already arrived, and Rain gets up and just falling down on the carpet.
Delphine wakes up.
Basically. Well, unpleasantly.
An unpleasant waking as eventually all of you enter into the building, and you see that the last time you were here, the forges were quite neatly sorted. Everything was in its right place. But now it looks like a whirlwind ravaged through here. Boxes are broken. Some of the smelting ovens are damaged. Coals strewn on the ground. And especially the main forge at the end of the room. It's like if someone went to town on it with a large sledgehammer and started just breaking parts of it. And you see at the main forge, you see Tresca already in her working outfit with a utility belt on and everything. She's looking around, trying to fix things, and she's talking to herself, sometimes shouting instructions to Stoke, who is also assisting her in fixing the forge. And there's, at this moment, the only two who are here. And they don't notice you enter as they're too caught up in repairing the forge.
Yoo-hoo.
You see, Tresca. Oh! No! You should not see it like this. Oh no! We need to fix a few things. I think Mr. Drummond was a little bit angered by the news.
Miss Tresca, please, quiet down. It's fine. We do not mind what has happened here. Is there any way we can help?
Stoke, who also notices you enter, he stands up. Drummond damaged the forges significantly. Probably didn't take the news very well. We already repaired most of it, but if we want to start forging that idol for you, we can, but there are certain risks at this moment. And then Tresca says, well,
of course.
Well, the risks are, like, we could ignite the forges, but, this forge, there's a minor link to the plane of Fernia, the plane of fire here. These forges, they are built in a specific way that they interact with that plane. And if that interaction is broken and we start forging, it's gonna get it could get a little bit rough. Dythun.
Excuse me, I was not suggesting for you to start now. I was merely asking if we could aid you in restoring the forge. Also, are you sure it was Mr. Drummond who did this?
I suspect.
I was worried for a moment you had been attacked by the underground association that Drummond is in debt to.
Dythun.
I was just saying, I do have to head out. I have to go take care of some things.
Could you hang on for 2 more minutes?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, 2 more. Okay. She says, like, I'm not sure, but we just still fixing the forge, and I know that it's an extra complication, but we're doing our best. And then Stoke interrupts her. You lot don't mind a little bit of danger, do you?
Danger?
What's in it
Well,
for us?
We can start igniting the forges already. The forges themselves work properly. And Tresca can start her elemental bindings for the burning idol. But with the geomantic properties not restored yet, there might be some things trying to come through. You think you can...
Dythun just pulls out his longsword.
You think you can keep her back clear of any kind of...
I'll take out my glaive.
I do hope we are discounted for the additional labor we are graciously offering you. Raises her hands, and you see just kind of magic emanating out of them.
Dythun turns to Delphine and, like, taps her on the shoulder.
Yeah, I
Okay,
basically have just my arms in front of my body, like, yeah, sure.
You see, Stoke looks at Tresca, who's a little bit worried, but then nods towards him, and then Stoke raises his forging hammer. Well, let's light her up then. And that's where we're gonna end today's session, and then see next time how the forging process will go, as we're bringing the forges up to heat and see whatever might come out of the plane of fire.
Excited?
All right. So, it's a little bit of a shorter session, but I just also wanted to make sure that Austin also was in all of it. But we'll have a next session next week, and that might be depending on how it goes, might be the final or almost final session for this adventure. So I'm curious to see how that's going to wrap up. But we're going to find out next week.
Whole campaign or just for this?
No, just this adventure.
This
adventure. This adventure. No. I'm not
short campaign.
I'm not done. I'm not done with you people yet. So
Wonderful.
Okay, great.
Before we head out for today, is there anything anyone want to plug for the rest of the week? Any projects coming up for anyone?
My commissions are open. Like, I can't take every project, but if you wanna offer something that I can work on in December, just find me on social media. I'll draw something for you. Especially if you have any anthropomorphic animal characters, like any lionins, any gnolls, any werewolves. Very interested in that. But also I know Austin has to go, so just
bring them all over to Serial Snowings, at Serial Snowings on most socials, and they can help you out. Anything else we want to plug before we head out?
Thanks for DMing us tonight.
A lot of fun.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks to our viewers for sticking with us, enjoying everything, typing in chat.
Yes.
if you enjoy our show, make sure to follow us. And if you're saying, okay, a follow is not just enough, subscribe. That helps us a lot. And yeah.
Hey, Twitch Prime, it's free if you got it.
Yeah, if you have a Twitch Prime subscription, we would be honored. But
Telepathy
again,
to the audience. Subscribe.
We also have a Twitter where you
Listen to
can,
Rain.
well,
All
we
right.
have a Twitter where you can get our latest news, and we have a Discord where you can chat with us out of the game.
Exactly. Send us your favorite Dythun misspellings, and
Yes.
most of all, drop by next week again, 8 p.m. Central European Standard Time, and we're going to continue then. Thank you very much for watching. Enjoy your evening, and see you next Tuesday.